Thanks for tuning in to Unbreakable with Chris Chamasiros. I talk about politics, sports, and entertainment to keep you well rounded what's going on around the world. If you don't like hearing the truth, definitely don't tune into this channel. So let's get started today. So, Jimmy Kimmel, he tries to apologize on his late show, but he just can't bring himself to do it because he's a lowlife. And of course, he tries to backtrack on his original statements about Charlie Kirk being assassinated in front of his children when he mocked and scoffed and made a joke out of it and blamed Republicans and MAGA and conservatives. Go figure. Jimmy Kimmel is not a real human being. He is evil, just like the rest of the majority of the Democratic Party. He's no different than the lefty lunatics, the progressives. He is a left wing radical. Make no mistake about it. And if you're a Republican, he absolutely hates your guts. So let's jump into this video and I'll go from there.
But I do want to make something clear because it's important to me as a human, and that is you understand that it was never my intention.
Now he's a human. As a human, well, why didn't you act like a human when Mr. Kirk was first assassinated in front of his children? He's just a dirtbag in a suit.
To make light of the murder of a young man.
Oh, the fake tears. That was wonderful, Jim. That was so. Did you go to acting school for a couple days before that fake little dust up there? Yeah. Right. Okay.
I don't think there's anything funny about it. I posted a message on Instagram on the day he was killed, sending love to his family and asking for compassion, and I meant it. And I
Go F yourself, you piece of garbage.
still do. Nor was it my intention to blame any specific group for the actions of what it was obviously a deep.
He didn't try to blame any specific group. He blamed Republicans. That's what they just lie all the time. You have people clapping for this guy. I didn't say it like that. I didn't mean it. You just got done saying it in front of millions of people. Your show went viral for saying it. You were suspended for blaming Republicans. I wasn't blaming anybody else. No, I just won't take responsibility. I won't take responsibility for being part of the Democratic Party that preaches violence to their followers and to their voters. And when they carry out the violence, I'll celebrate. And then when I get in trouble or suspended from my job, oh, I didn't say it.
Deeply disturbed individual. That was really the opposite of the point I was trying to make. But I understand that to some that felt either ill-timed or unclear, or maybe both. And for those who think I did point a finger, I get why you're upset. If the situation was reversed, there's a good chance I'd have felt the same way. I have many friends and family members on the other side who I love.
Oh, here we go. It's like the racist white guy that says, I have black friends. All right. It's the same exact thing.
And remain close to, even though we don't agree on politics at all. I don't think the murderer who shot Charlie Kirk represents anyone. This was a sick person.
Here we go again. Here we go. Bill Maher, the same talking point. Bill Maher and Jimmy Kimmel and Democrats are now all using the same talking point. He wasn't in a party. He didn't belong to anybody. He was just a mental case. No, he was a Democrat. He was a leftist. And oh no, he's not in our party. Now he's not in any party. It's just typical Democrats and liberal lies. The party is complete garbage, led by complete trash. And Jimmy Kimmel is one of the biggest reasons to blame for all this left-wing violence towards conservatives in America. The entire party is responsible for Charlie Kirk's assassination.
Who believed violence was a solution, and it isn't. Ever. And also selfishly.
Oh, yeah, now they're all clapping. The same idiots clapping were the same ones celebrating when Charlie Kirk got murdered. F you all.
I am a person who gets a lot of threats. I get many ugly and scary threats against my life, my wife, my kids, my coworkers because of what I choose to say. And I know those threats don't come from the kind of people on the right who I know and love. So that's what I wanted to say on that subject. But I don't want to make this about me because, and I know this is what people say when they make things about them, but I really don't. This show is not important. What is important is that we get to live in a country that allows us to have a show like this.
Don't you love how Democrats are always taking the high road? Don't you love that? Oh, what's important is we get to have a show. You have nobody but yourself to blame for being suspended from your own show. See, freedom of speech is saying, I hate President Trump or I hate Republicans and conservatives. Freedom of speech is not just lying and blaming a whole 100 million people who voted for President Trump when they had nothing to do with an assassination murder on Charlie Kirk. See, what all these other left wing lunatics forget is this: if you have a late night talk show, this has been on the books for 200 years. If you have a late night talk show and you do politics, you have to have both sides on, or you can have your license revoked. But according to Jimmy the scumbag here, it's just President Trump trying to silence him and take away freedom of speech in America. And this is exactly why we have the violence that we have in this country, because of scumbags like Jimmy Kimmel lying. And he knows he's lying. Yeah, clap. Bunch of idiots.
I've had the opportunity to meet and spend time with comedians and talk show hosts from countries like Russia, countries in the Middle East, who tell me they would get thrown in prison for making fun of those in power, and worse than being thrown in prison. They know how lucky we are here. Our freedom to speak is what they admire most about this country. And that's something I'm embarrassed to say I took for granted until they pulled my friend Steven off the air and tried to coerce the affiliates who run our show in the cities that you live in to take my show off the air. That's not legal. That's not American. That is un-American. And it's so dangerous.
Don't you love Democrats always preaching to us what's American? Is assassination attempts on opposing political parties American? Today in Texas at an ICE facility, we had a sniper that shot 3 ICE officers. And you know why they're doing this? Because Democrats tell these assassins it's okay to do stuff like this. But leave it to Jimmy here to preach to us what being American is. Just a piece of garbage leftist. So there you have it. Jimmy Kimmel is just a low-life dirtbag. He knows exactly what he said. The fake tears don't mean anything to me at all. And Jimmy, your apology means absolutely nothing. And don't worry, come voting time, Republicans are going to vote every single state red, because we are not going to forget your disrespect, your disgusting, vile ways. And you're not even man enough to own what you said. I'd have more respect for you if you just said, yeah, I said what I said, and that's what I said. I'd have more respect for you that way. But the coward, weasel, worm, Jimmy Kimmel, I wouldn't expect anything different but him acting like the coward that he truly is. And he could take his apology and shove it where the sun doesn't shine. So we have more lefty lunatic violence today in Dallas. Dallas ICE shooting, sniper dead after shooting 3 ICE detainees. A sniper reportedly died from a self-inflicted gunshot wound early Wednesday morning after he shot 3 detainees at a Dallas ICE facility. Dallas police officers found 4 people who had been shot. 2 of those people were dead, including the shooter. The other 2 were taken to the hospital in an unknown condition. Originally reported that a second victim had died at the hospital, but the officials would not confirm that information. None of the victims are law enforcement officers, officials confirmed. Officials said they are not releasing the identities of the victims and the shooter at this time. Police sources told Fox 4 the sniper identified as a white male. Oh, they have no problem always calling the shooter a white male. We'll find out later that he was trans. And if it was any other ethnicity, they would never, ever mention the race of the shooter. That's a different video. Was armed with a rifle on a nearby roof. He shot himself as agents approached him, the sources said. The investigation is ongoing, and video from Sky 4 showed crime scene tape around a nearby building with officers on the roof. We're going to be working this investigation shoulder to shoulder with our fellow partners, said Dallas Police Chief Daniel Comex. Dallas FBI Field Office Special Agent in Charge Joe Rothrock confirmed the incident is being investigated as active targeted violence. He also said rounds found near the shooter contained messages that were anti-ICE in nature. Wait, so let me get this straight. This trans, and that's what we're going to find out that it was, is anti-ICE, but he you know what? The detainees. Sounds like a liberal to me. Liberal logic 101 on full display once again. Governor Greg Abbott from Texas tweeted, Texas fully supports ICE 100. Both the Texas Department of Public Safety and Texas National Guard work closely with ICE. This assassination will not slow our arrest, detention, and deportation of illegal immigrants. We will work with ICE and the Dallas Police Department to get to the bottom of, obviously, to get to the bottom of this horrific event. FBI sources told Fox 4 the shooter was on the roof of the law firm building behind the Dallas ICE facility and fired into an unmarked van with an ATF driver that was bringing detainees to the facility. Investigators believe they know the identity of the shooter, but they are still working to confirm and verify that information before releasing his name to the public. These losers can't do anything. You understand what I'm trying to say. So this is just lefty violence. And from Maxine Waters, Alexandria Cortez, Ilhan Omar, Chris Cuomo, Democrats, all calling for violence against ICE, against Republicans, against conservatives. And that's where our country is at. I don't want to hear turn down the rhetoric, because only one side is doing the rhetoric. Only one side needs to turn down their rhetoric. We don't have to be victims to all of this complete nonsense. And that's what Democrats want, because they don't take responsibility for anything they do. Hakeem Jeffries, they're all promoting violence against ICE officers and law enforcement officers for doing their job. So is Gavin Newsom. They're all responsible for inciting violence and murder. I don't want to hear that they're not. When you have politicians that go on TV and say things in the Democratic Party and say that go to war with ICE agents and take back your neighborhoods, they should be arrested immediately. They should be brought up on federal terrorism charges. I don't want to hear it's freedom of speech. Freedom of speech is saying, I hate ICE. ICE officers are fat, sloppy. They don't do their effing job. That's freedom of speech. When you incite violence and then murders and assassinations are being carried out by your orders and your words, even Joe Biden was doing this. The president of the United States was promoting violence in his party as all of their voters burnt down city after city in the summer of love. And what did Democrats do? They cheered, they applauded, they bailed these lowlifes out of jail. Then the Democratic judges that were appointed by Democrats and liberals refused to lock them up, refused to make them post bail, dropped their charges, and let the lefties know, hey, as long as you're committing violence in the name of Democrats, it's acceptable. We appreciate you. We will take care of you. We will pay you. We will make sure you don't go to jail. And that's where America is right now. And of course, I got to bring up Christians. It's always, we're just going to pray for the other side and, sing kumbaya songs, as these lefty lunatics have destroyed the churches, destroyed the school system, destroyed every major city in America, burnt down businesses, homes, have killed conservatives, assassinations on Charlie Kirk and ICE agents. And we're just all going to pray. Well, you could pray and I'll be prepared. And when my number gets called, I'm just going to leave it like this. Make sure you don't miss. It's so disgusting and ridiculous at this point that we're letting a bunch of left-wing lunatics destroy the country, whether it's illegal immigration, whether it's political violence, no border, allowing thousands of terrorists just to walk on through. And you're not allowed to talk about it. You're not allowed to say the things that I'm saying. You'll be called a racist. You'll be canceled. They'll try to take your life. I get threatened all the time. I get threatened all the time by lefty lunatics. All the time. And like I always say, don't miss. Don't miss. I'll just leave it at everybody's a tough guy online. We'll see. Welcome to America in 2025, where pieces of garbage like Jimmy Fallon, Ilhan Omar, Alexandria Cortez, Joe Biden, Gavin Newsom, Maxine Waters, Jasmine Crockett, the complete clown show, vile communist dirtbags. They promote violence, they promote murder, and when it gets carried out, there is no consequences for their actions. President Trump needs to lock them all up, throw away the key, and if you have officers that don't want to get involved for whatever the reason, deputize me, and I'll start kicking down doors and locking people up. And with that being said, thanks for tuning in to Unbreakable with Chris Chamasiros.